What's up? Oh, I think I went into the red. What's up, everybody? All right, let's do the rounds because I am the director, producer, and star of this show. Got to go through a couple of minutes at the beginning of every episode. Just make sure I send this out and check my YouTube, make sure it's actually posting. I am posted. Let's go ahead and get that on over to some people. Usually takes a couple minutes for people to show up. And the full live broadcast will be under my lives, but I take the videos and I edit them out, so I get rid of a lot of I cut the fat on a lot of it. Alright, we're just going to send this to the regulars. Let's see if anybody pops in here. Gonna minimize that. Let's get the chat up here. Hey, what's up, Melissa? Alright, somebody's already here. Alright. And just a couple more. Says didn't come through. Okay. So, just one more minute. Gonna throw it in the group chat and call it a day. Perfect. All right. What's up, everybody? How we doing? Yeah, I got you, Mel. How you doing? All right, so today's been crazy. I think we aren't making history. I don't know if we're making history or not. I have to double check the stats, but Kevin McCarthy has lost 6 bids for Speaker. I think right around now they're going to be voting again, or it was adjourned until 8 o'clock Eastern, and I'm in Central Time, so it's 8:20 right now, and I'll probably miss out on live updates unless I get a notification here. But House reconvenes after 6 failed attempts. Let's actually read the news headline right now off of Fox. Yeah, they reconvened and doesn't say anything yet. Anyway, so the McCarthy withdrew. Possibly. That's what I'm getting from the chat here. You see, I didn't time this one right. Every time I do my podcast, it's going to be around 7 o'clock. And I'll try to do it most nights. But they reconvened right when I was doing it, and I was putting together this whole episode, so I didn't catch the updates. But let's go through what's happened today so far. House votes on motion to adjourn tonight after McCarthy falls short in 6th ballot. That's what I'm seeing. So I don't know if he's withdrawn or not. But I want to talk about, how a lot of people have a misconception that the party is divided and the Republican Party is falling apart. And, trolls on Twitter and leftists, they love to sort of, I don't know if gaslighting is the right word, but they love to get super excited about a whole bunch of nothing, right? They do this with Trump all the time, right? They're like, oh my God, Trump's taxes are going to come out and he's going to go to jail. It's like, no, he's not. They love to post about how awful something's going, even when it's really just normal procedure. And I kind of fell for this little tactic earlier, right? Because when Trump made a statement earlier saying that we should just back Kevin McCarthy, I was just like, I jumped on the Trump train real quick, and I was just like, yeah, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. Just put him in. But we got to remember that McCarthy is a swamp creature, and because we're not a cult, no matter how much they try to gaslight us and say that we are, there's a lot of people that disagree with Trump on this, and they're speaking up. Like Republicans have their own voices. The projection on the left calling us a cult when they will literally follow blindly for anything that their party says. And I'm not trying to pull any more division and whataboutism on it. It's just fucking true. They literally, the left's tactic is to accuse the right of what they do. They blindly follow. They ignore every negative thing about their party. Look at Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a fucking senile criminal. And they're focused on Trump's taxes. Trump was a fucking billionaire before he got into office. And he's now worth $1 billion less because of his presidency. He knew he was going to lose money. He lost $1 billion because of being president. Everyone else in politics and in Congress has become rich off of their position. How the fuck are we looking at Trump? Let's release Nancy's taxes and this. And I'm getting sidetracked. It's just I wanted to go on that little rant because the left's tactic is to accuse everybody else of what they're doing. And what they're doing is they're gaslighting the public, right? By saying, "Oh, this is a mess. Oh, you guys don't have any unity in any party." It's like, no, we got the Freedom Caucus, I guess you could call them, standing in the way of pushing McCarthy through because they realize, and a lot of other people realize, he is a fucking swamp creature. He was wearing the little napkin, the Ukraine. I stand with Ukraine. I don't trust anybody that is supporting Ukraine at this point. I don't trust you because either you're corrupt or stupid, right? Ukraine is a corrupt country. A girl that worked for me, who's a very good friend of mine, she's Ukrainian. I'm not talking about the Ukrainian people. I'm talking about the country. There's a difference when you support a corrupt nation and you support the corrupt nation's leadership, who is a fucking corrupt dictator like Zelensky. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear anything that you have to say. You might as well be saying, like, Hitler had some great ideas. No, fucking, he didn't, right? You guys just canceled Kanye for the same fucking thing that you're engaging in. Zelensky is a fucking dictator, and he is corrupt as fuck. He banned churches. He is banning the media in his own country. He does not want any dissent, and he is grifting $100 billion out of us and tens of billions of dollars from other countries. He wants this war to continue because they are lining his fucking pockets. He's for the New World Order. All right. This is not a tinfoil hat theory. This is what's fucking happening. Point blank and period. So when I see McCarthy with his fucking Ukraine fucking napkin and his Ukraine pin, I don't trust him. The media wants him in there. I don't trust him. Right? The Democrats want him in there. I don't fucking trust him. And unfortunately, Trump wants him in there. But once again, we don't blindly follow the fucking man. We don't. We don't blindly follow Trump. Trump is just our chosen leader because of all of the good that he did while he was president. Right? He is not without fault. He does not deserve no criticism. He deserves criticism. And when he says something that we don't agree with, we'll let him know. But there was a little fuckery today, right? And whoever did this is actual trolling, right? Trolling has become a fucking a watered down word like racist. And real trolls are very rare. I'm a real troll. I grew up with the best of them. Trolling is essentially just tricking people, right? It's not being a cunt. It's not being a dick. It's not harassing somebody and making a bunch of different accounts to come at them every fucking day. That's a stalker. That's why I call them stalkers versus trolls. But a troll dropped this statement today, and it had the Save America headline. Statement by Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States. I have been monitoring the vote at the House from the beautiful Mar-a-Lago, and I'm very disappointed. Kevin and I spoke last night, and he made certain promises that he has not kept. Very, very sad. Many are now saying Kevin is part of the problem. Enough is enough, Kevin. The swamp needs to be drained, and it seems that we need new leadership. House members should rally behind Byron Donalds, who will be sure to push the MAGA agenda. Get it done. A lot of people bought that, me included. I was like, oh, who's Byron Donalds? I looked him up. He's a MAGA candidate, black guy. I think a couple of news outlets, I think Fox picked it up when, or maybe they didn't. No. I think Fox just said that he was nominated because he was nominated by, I believe, 20 of the House Republicans. But very shortly after that statement came out, Trump just came out with the just kidding. It wasn't me. So this is the real truth that he dropped on Truth Social. The statement just put out using a Save America masthead is a forgery and a fake. Please disregard it entirely. And I immediately posted on Twitter. I was like, stop playing with my emotions, because nobody wants you to back McCarthy, Trump. So we don't have blind loyalty, but one thing I have noticed about Trump over the years is when he makes a decision that we don't agree with, we find out later that there was a reason. So because I'm a Trump supporter and I trust him way more than I trust, McCarthy or any of these other people in Congress, I'm wondering, this is my theory, right? Now I'll put the tinfoil hat on for this. I'm wondering if Trump has something on McCarthy, and he knows that if McCarthy becomes speaker, things will get done for whatever reason he knows. That would be good, because it seems out of character for Trump to endorse a swamp creature. It just does. But you don't have to be blindly loyal, but you can trust somebody that's really never let you down. And that's what I'll go with. Somebody I don't trust, who I used to, who did let me down, is Dan Crenshaw. I live in Texas. I live in San Antonio. When Crenshaw first started coming out on the scene, he seemed like everything we needed, and he has slowly and surely become a swamp creature. Here's a video of him basically just bashing his own party while talking about how the party is the problem because they're so childish while acting fucking childish. Look at how fucking stupid this is. He's so giddy about being an asshole. Who
are you hearing these renegade Republicans want to nominate, essentially, as speaker? Who's their person?
They don't have one.
That's
a great question. There's no plan.
Right.
That's a great question. They keep acting like, they keep acting like they've got somebody in the wings. They're just waiting. You'll see on the day of, right? They keep saying that. They're like children.
All right, this is what I'm talking about. You're the fucking problem, Dan, because nobody that you're making fun of is making fun of their own party. You got Matt Gaetz coming out. You got Lauren Boebert coming out. They're all saying that I respect Kevin McCarthy, this, that, and the other. You're the one that's calling them babies and children and saying that they don't have anybody. They do. They do have people. They have Jim Jordan, and they have the other candidate. I think there's a couple of options, but to say that because McCarthy got the majority, he's the only option, everybody just needs to shut up and accept it, is kind of the same mentality of the omnibus bill. Ominous? I fucking never know how to pronounce that word. The omnibus bill, where, we just got to pass it because, you know what, fucking just give in. Comply. Just fucking do it. Like, no, dude. Like, I really am completely disappointed. Let's listen to whatever else he has to fucking say.
This is such a childish attempt at gaining more and more attention. You know why they say it like that? Because they want you to interview them again.
Do you know why they say it like that? because they want you to interview him again. And I'm one of the most interviewed people, and I think that you should interview me again. I mean, shut your fucking mouth, you one-eyed fuckface. I don't like you anymore. Fucking get Cyclops the fuck out of Texas. You get people like Abbott who catch a lot of flack from the media, which makes me like him even more. And then you got people like Crenshaw who are adored by the media, and I don't trust them. I think the good rule of thumb moving forward is if the media is sucking off somebody, don't trust them, because that's basically what he's saying is projection. He's saying that the reason Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert and all these other people, these 20 other Republicans, are trying to hold everything up is because they want to get an interview while he's doing an interview on mainstream media. It's like, dude, tweet it, fucker. If you really didn't want to be in front of the camera, you wouldn't be. You'd be doing your job. But you're talking like a fucking child. Oh my God. And you're literally projecting right now.
That's why they're doing it. Please interview. You'll see if you just put me on TV just one more time, please. Then I'll tell you who we're going to go for. But here's the thing: they've got nobody. Even if they did, I promise you, there's a ton of Republicans who will not vote for them. They will not vote for anyone except Kevin McCarthy. Because here's the thing.
But they literally fucking nominated Jim Jordan for 20 seats, and they nominated this other guy for 20 seats. They do have somebody. They have people, and he's saying that they don't have people. Like, I mean, you want to see what a real fucking candidate looks like? I'm gonna jump back to Chip Roy, because I wanted to transition from a Texan that I don't like to a Texan that I do. But let's just listen to this speech. This is who should be speaker. It should be Jim Jordan. He doesn't want the job, and I get it. But this guy, the reason he should be the speaker is because he doesn't want the job. Like, he's just all about doing his job, so much to the point where he wants to do his job. He wants to be on the Judiciary Committee instead of a House Speaker. But listen to this.
3 objectives this Congress. 3 fundamental things we have to get done in the 118th Congress. First, pass the bills that fix the problems. In 2 years' time, we have a border that is no longer a border. We have a military that can't meet its recruitment goals. We have bad energy policy, bad education policy, record spending, record inflation, record debt, and a government that has been weaponized against we the people, against the very people we represent. So we need to pass legislation to address all that. And I hope my Democrat colleagues will join me. I really do. But I have my doubts. And if they don't, and if Chuck Schumer says, no, we're not going to take up that legislation that we pass, and if Joe Biden won't sign it, so be it. They'll have to answer to the people in 2024. Second, we can never, ever let a bill like the one that passed 12 days ago, $1.7 trillion spent, we can never, ever let that kind of legislation pass again. We have to pass a budget that makes sense, that's good common sense, then do the 12 appropriation bills that recognize it's the people's money, not ours, and send it to the Senate, and then stand firm on that legislation. And again, if they won't take it up and Joe Biden won't sign it, we can stand firm on a CR or something. We can have that fight, but we are not going to have what took place a week and a half ago ever happen again. And then finally, third, and this is important, we got to do the oversight, do the investigations. We have to do the oversight and the investigations that need to be done. This idea that bureaucrats who never put their name on a ballot but think they run the country, who have assaulted our constituents' First Amendment liberties, they need to be held accountable. That has to happen. We need to do it.
That's the guy. Like, that's the fucking guy. That's who we need. I mean, he is so well respected by his colleagues, well respected by his peers, well respected by the Republican Party, well respected by the people. Like, he's the guy. When I took a poll on Twitter earlier, and it said who should be speaker, Jim Jordan or Kevin McCarthy, there were 20,000 votes, and it was 97% Jordan to 3% McCarthy. You can't go off a Twitter poll, because it's probably a little biased because the person who posted it is most likely a large Republican content creator. However, it shows at least what the Republican Party thinks about who should be speaker. And, I mean, maybe it's just a small sampling, but it's not McCarthy. We don't need another old career politician to be shaking hands with the other side. This is war right now, right? We are in a civil fucking war between both parties, right? It is left versus right. I do not give a fuck about unity right now. We need to destroy the other party, and then once we beat the shit out of them and knock this shit off and let them know that this woke ass culture is fucking over. No more indoctrinating children, no more pushing politicians into power by cheating and rigging elections and mail-in voting, no more porous border, no more fucking drugs coming across our country, no more. Once we do that, once we fucking put our boot on their neck, then we will stick our hand out, pick them back up, and remind them that we are all Americans. But there is no fucking negotiating with terrorists, because that is exactly what Democrats want. They want to empower domestic terrorists, BLM, Antifa. They want to fucking castrate your children. That's an act of fucking terrorism if I haven't heard one. They want to let rapists, drug dealers, fentanyl, all of this shit over the border. They want to shake hands with corrupt nations, China, Ukraine. They want to do all this, and that's not the American way. It is America last versus America first. I'm on the America first team. So, no, we don't need Kevin McCarthy because he thinks exactly like a career politician. Let's figure out how we can stay in power. Term limits, he shot them down. Why? Why would you shoot down term limits unless you wanted to be in power for a long time? Term limits has to happen. It's pretty much widely agreed upon by both sides. It has to fucking happen, and it has to happen soon. We need a Congress with some balls. And what I'm seeing by them holding up the speakership is a Congress with balls. I think that Matt Gaetz, Boebert, Chip Roy, these people are who we need representing us right now. And speaking of Chip Roy, we played a Texan that I'm not a big fan of. Chip Roy, I'm a big fan. Right.
For having me on. And first of all, I wouldn't say I've been leading the charge against McCarthy. I've been leading the charge for my constituents who are tired of the swamp continuing to do what the swamp does. And we saw it on full display with the $1.7 trillion omnibus bill. Now, my friend Jim Jordan, who just nominated Kevin McCarthy, who I also consider a friend, said that, hey, we need to put the people in place to stop bills like that. But that's the problem. Everybody's out there saying, oh, we got everything we wanted. We got rules changes. Let me tell you something. We have no way to enforce those rules changes. The speaker-elect has a history of voting with Democrats and voting with the minority against the majority Republicans over the last decade. He's been speaker or in the leadership of Republicans since 2009. During that time, the debt has gone from 11 trillion to 32 trillion.
Listen to that. As the leader of the Republican Party, he has increased our debt. Why? Trump decreased our debt. He put sanctions on other countries. The reason they took him down, and a lot of people on my side know this, we're well aware of this. The reason they hated Trump so much was because he was so effective in such a short period of time. And people like Kevin McCarthy, people like swamp creatures and these career politicians, they do everything so fucking slow. Unless they want to push a fucking bill through Congress at a rapid pace, force the other side to sign it because they're about to lose power. That bill, that omnibus bill, was a way for them to guarantee that their policies would stay in effect long after they're out of power. Like, that's what it was. You don't give them any time to read it, and McCarthy and McConnell and all of them, they were all behind it. Fuck those people. Like, how the fuck are you going to be behind a bill that you didn't even read? Like, how the fuck can you say, yep, thanks for the 4,000 pages, we'll just sign it on the dotted line? Fuck the American people. We don't need to actually make sure that they're not getting screwed over. We'll just do whatever you want, Democrats. I mean, you guys have fucking never steered us wrong before.
In other words, we want to be able to have a check against the swamp. We made good faith changes. We worked hard to get them, but we needed a little bit more in order to assure that we have the power to actually stop the swamp from rolling over the American people who are sick of bills that spend money we don't have, are sick of open borders, are sick of empowering the bureaucrats to go after them, and we're sick and tired of a Congress that's not doing its job. So this is about changing this town. I wasn't sent here for second place. I was sent here to get the job done, and we need the leadership and the tools to do it.
And there it is. There it is. He needs to either be speaker if Jim Jordan can't, or he at least needs to keep on fighting for us. I mean, I love most Texas politicians. They really are no fucking nonsense. So we got through all of that. One final clip that I want to play is Lauren Boebert. Benny Johnson posted this on his Instagram, and I just cropped it out. But great speech, and she's advocating for this other guy. I honestly keep forgetting his name because it's the first time I've heard of him today. The congressman that they're nominating. But I also found it really funny that, like, I think it was Fox News and a couple others were like, "Oh, we have a black." Why does it matter the color of somebody's skin? Right? It's like, we're making history. We just nominated a black guy. No, you nominated a congressman. It's like stop it. Anyway, here we go.
Our job is not to coronate the biggest fundraiser or rubber stamp the status quo or keep on going along to get along. It's to use our votes to elect a speaker who will enable us to get our country back on track. Getting the job done is what we were elected to do. And that starts with having a leader who supports Republican principles. Even having my favorite president call us and tell us we need to knock this off. I think it actually needs to be reversed. The president needs to tell Kevin McCarthy that, sir, you do not have the votes and it's time to withdraw. With that, I yield. Thank you.
Once again, right? We're not a cult. We're not a fucking cult. And she just proved it. If Trump says something, right, it's not like all hands on deck all the time, right? If Trump says something that we don't agree with, we're gonna say, nah, we're good. Love you, bud. You're the best. You're my man. But we're not gonna do it. It's like it's insane. It's all projection, because if Nancy Pelosi says something, it's fucking law. It was. Thank God she's fucking gone. Can we take a minute and get a little sidestep on this one? Nancy Pelosi is no longer going to be fucking waving her hands like a crazy person and talking like she's a fucking, like an old guinea. And I can say that because I'm Italian. She's finally not going to be fucking doing this and fixing her dentures and taking up the screen with that fucking leather face. It's just, it's great that we don't have to see that anymore. I know that the other side breathed a sigh of relief when Trump was unfairly kicked out of office through cheating in the election. But Nancy literally just fucking went, nah, I'm done. You guys, you got me. So, it's different. It just hits different. Nancy should have been gone a long time ago, and that's why we really do. We need fucking term limits. Term limits have to happen. And I'm engaging with people in the comment section. I'm not talking to myself, guys. Term limits have to happen. They have to happen. How the fuck are you going to take the most important position and put a term limit on it, right? Of the president of the United States. You can only do 8 years. But in Congress, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, these people, they make like $200,000 a year, and their net worth, like, fucking quadruples, like, over a short period of time. Nancy Pelosi is 1,000% guilty of insider trading. She just picks nothing but winners on stocks, and then she says, "Nah, my husband did it." Oh, that guy that got hammered. Yeah, no, it's pretty. We need to fucking investigate her. I know it won't happen. It's a pretty shitty time to live in this country right now, because in the age of technology, we all have this source of information at our fingertips, so we can look up all this information, and we know that Nancy's corrupt. We know that Ukraine's corrupt, and the propaganda has to just be louder on the other side to drown that out. So they just scream nonsense. They just go, "No, she's great." Like, how? Like, how? What? Nancy Pelosi is the best speaker that we've ever had in decades. It's like, she's been there for decades. I mean, she didn't have a bad year. Pretty sure she had a bad year. I mean, they talk about how Joe Biden's like one of the best presidents in history. Motherfucker got into office, bombed Somalia, withdrew from Afghanistan, getting 13 soldiers killed the pipeline, raised the fucking gas, killed everything that Trump did, opened the border, stopped construction on the wall that was already paid for. He signed 51 executive orders or something in the first month and a half, and it just fucking unraveled this country into a downward fucking spiral that everybody is bitching about to this day. And then they just come on with this propaganda. This is what it is. It's propaganda. That he's a good president. He's not. He can't fucking speak. He's like Ron Burgundy in the fucking Anchorman movie. Anything you put on the teleprompter, he will read. True international... Like, didn't he say, like, long pause or something? Like he was reading the teleprompter? He's fucking retarded. And he's president. He's functionally fucking retarded. He's senile. And he's president. He shakes hands with strangers that aren't there. Literally looks... Goes like that. Then he looks around, and he fucking, and then somebody comes up and goes, no, this way. When he was on the fucking stage with LL Cool J, he was just like, took the mic with him, like it was an ice cream cone, and he was going out with his family for a stroll. He's fucking retarded, and he's president. And people on the left are so indoctrinated, and they have blind loyalty, and they are a cult, that they keep telling you he's a good fucking president. He's not a good president. He is the shittiest fucking president that we have ever had over Jimmy Carter. He is the worst. He has done nothing but ruin this fucking country, and he's done it while acting like a fucking idiot. He sniffs little kids. His son is a corrupt piece of shit. So his son is a criminal. He's not a corrupt piece of shit. He's corrupt. He's a piece of shit. Like Hunter Biden. I know that Hunter Biden's not the president, but fucking come on. Shut up. You guys bitch about Donald Trump Jr. all the time. Hunter Biden slept with his brother's widow when his brother's body was barely cold, cheated on her with a stripper, had a kid with that stripper that he ignored and didn't want to pay child support on, didn't acknowledge that he actually had the baby. He had videos on his fucking laptop with his underage niece, I think it was his niece, and they were like fucking naked and shit. Like, he's got shit on the laptop of him pimping out girls. He's a sex trafficker, drug addict, crackhead, who is working for a Ukrainian corrupt oil and gas company, getting paid $70,000 a month, while his father was telling that corrupt nation that if they didn't fire a straight shooting prosecutor who was looking into the company that his son was working for, they were going to withhold $1 billion of U.S. taxpayer money to Ukraine. How the fuck do you people not put together that this family is fucked. They're all fucking weird criminals. Joe Biden said he didn't ever talk to his son. I never talked to my son about any business dealings. Then the picture shows up where they're at the golf course with the fucking executives of the company. Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and 2 corrupt Ukrainians. What the fuck? Yeah, 10% for the big guy. Like, all the shit on this laptop. I mean, the Twitter files just came out and actually uncovered that not only, like, was the laptop real, but the FBI knew about it a year before it even came out. And then the media and social media was pressured by the FBI to suppress it because they all know we live in a fucking corrupt nation. And you need to accept that. Get rid of the idea that we live in a free country right now. We have to make it free. We do not. We live in a corrupt nation. Most nations are corrupt now. The New World Order is trying to take over. And there's no big wild conspiracy theory. It's fucking happening right in front of your fucking eyes. And we're all sitting around just being selfish, caring about ourselves, right? Now, this is a very, very small thing I'm doing by talking about it, but that's really why the First Amendment makes this country so great. The First Amendment, your voice is so dangerous if you use it. If you think for yourself and you challenge the establishment and you challenge these corrupt fucking oligarchs that are trying to basically, like, brainwash you into thinking that good enough is good enough. Good enough is never good enough, right? And I mean this in life, but especially in this situation. I said this when I was doing a lot of, mentoring to tile installers in my business. I was saying, like, well, was it good enough, or was it as good as it possibly could have been, right? Like, I want as good. I don't want perfect. I want as good as it possibly could have been, right? And that's what I want for this country. I want this country to be as good as it possibly can be. No country's perfect because it's, run by people, and people aren't perfect. But if you're doing it as good as it possibly can be, that's good enough. But good enough is never good enough. And right now, we aren't even fucking close. It's unfortunate. Hopefully it turns around. If it doesn't, I'll be fine. I know how to hunt. I know how to build a log cabin. I got thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds of ammo back there with enough skills to get me through. So, if Red Dawn happens, bye. I'll be all right. A lot of you won't. A lot of you are fucked. Enjoy your fucking concentration camp. Anyway, that's the episode. I wanted to get it in under a half hour, but we're at 37 minutes. It's good enough for me. And appreciate everybody in the comments. Somebody said, "Can I come with you when the world ends?" No. My dog and me are going alone. I am not. The reason I'm gonna have you think I'm gonna take somebody with me. I'm not gonna take society with me when society fails. I'm gonna start over. All right. Me and the animals are gonna hang out and chill, and I'm gonna learn how to make alcohol out of something. I'll find some fruit. I'll ferment it. I'm gonna be by myself. I don't want anybody coming with me. Just the dog. Anyway. All right.